Hi, I'm Paul Kyogan from GK Tuition, and in this video I want to talk to you about statistics. Now the question I've chosen to go through here is 2017 Paper 2, Question 2, Part A. Now, as you can see, I've already worked out the first part of the question. It asked me to work out the correlation coefficient. You can just plug that straight into your calculator and it should work out as minus 0.957. Now I'm not going to go through part B in this video. They've given you a coordinate plane and you can just plot all your points, and in order to draw the line of best fit you need to use a ruler. Clearly the correlation coefficient is negative, so your line should be decreasing, and you want to, insofar as possible, draw a straight line that has roughly half of the coordinates above the line, half of the coordinates below the line. Now let's move on and I'll talk to you about part C. Okay, in part C of this question, it tells me that the slope of the line of best fit is minus 0.15, and it asks to explain this in the context of the question. Now, in questions like this, I think it's important for you to think of the slope as the rise over the run. The rise is the difference in the y values, the run is the difference in the x values. And the rise in this case, the y values being kilometers per litre in fuel consumption, the run being the speed in kilometers per hour. So if they tell you that the slope is minus 0.15, you should actually view it as, right, well, my fuel consumption is decreasing by 0.15 kilometers per litre, while my speed is increasing by 1 kilometre per hour. That's mathematically, that line explains it. However, this is what the marks are going for. To explain it in English, you need to say that for every 1 kilometre per hour increase in speed, the distance travelled on 1 litre of fuel decreases by 0.15 kilometers. In other words, if this changes by 1, if the x values change by 1, the y values decrease by 0.15. Okay, so for part D of this question, we're told that Mary and Jane are travelling from Cork to Dublin. And that's 260 kilometers from Cork to Dublin. We're told Mary's speed and we're told Jane's speed. The first thing you should do is write out your distance, speed, time triangle. If you know the speed and the distance of each of these individuals, you can work out the time, because time is given as distance divided by speed. So the time it's going to take Mary to get from Cork to Dublin is 260 over 96. The time it's going to take Jane is 260 over 112. If I subtract Jane's time from Mary's time, I'll end up with the difference between them. It's going to take Mary an extra 0.3869 hours to get from Cork to Dublin. However, the question asked me to get this in minutes. So you can press your degrees, minutes and seconds button on your calculator, or you can just get the decimal and multiply it by 60. 0.3869 hours corresponds to 23.21 minutes. The question asked me to round to the nearest minute, so if I round that, I'm going to round it down. My final answer is 23 minutes. In the final part of this question, we're asked to work out how much more money it costs Jane to travel from Cork to Dublin. In the start of part D, it told me that it costs 132.9 cents per litre. Now, we have to do this question based on the information in part A. In the first part of this question, one of the coordinates is that if you travel at 96 kilometers per hour, your fuel consumption is 11 kilometers per litre. Another one of the coordinates is that if you travel at 112 kilometers per hour, your fuel consumption is 9 kilometers per litre. So I have to use those pieces of data in order to work out the cost for Mary and for Jane to travel from Cork to Dublin. So to work out how much fuel Mary is going to use on her journey, it's going to be the distance she travelled divided by the kilometres per litre. If she gets, for every 11 kilometres she travels, that means she uses 1 litre of petrol, or 1 litre of fuel. So I know that if she travels 260 kilometres, well, 260 divided by 11 is 23.6. Therefore, I know Mary is going to use 23.6 litres of petrol to travel from Cork to Dublin. And at the start of part D, it told me that it costs 132.9 cents per litre. So if she's going to use 23.6 litres and multiply them, that means it's going to cost her 3,141.27 cents. I obviously shouldn't leave this answer in cents. I want to leave that in euros. So if I multiply that by 100 to the nearest cent, that means it's going to cost Mary €31.41. If we now look at the next part of the question, we do the exact same thing for Jane. Jane's speed is 112, which means she must be getting 9 kilometers for every litre. If she travels 260 kilometers, that means that she's going to use 28.9 litres of petrol. It's going to cost her 132.9 cents per litre, so if I multiply these two, I get 3,839.33 cents. Multiply it by 100 to get it to the nearest cent, it's €38.39. So if I subtract the two, I can work out that it actually costs Jane an extra €6.98 to travel from Cork to Dublin at the faster speed. Okay, so I hope all of this video made sense. If you have any queries there, or if there's anything you're unsure of, then just ask me in class during the week or send me an email and I'll try and clarify it for you.